Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to LinkedIn Tuesdays. Very glad you're with us today. It is March 8th, 2022. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please, if you're on Zoom, please just open up the chat box and enter your questions there. For those watching on Facebook right now, thank you for joining us. Please enter any questions you have into the comment field. We will be sure to get those questions answered for you. Please note this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window do not appear in the recording, and you're welcome to put in your personal contact information so that other people can network with everybody else who's currently on the chat right now. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, something to help those who are unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I started a second website, careerusa.org, to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search that you may not know. It is available on Amazon. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. I'll tell you about our upcoming program we have coming up this Friday at the end of this session. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. Your resume and your LinkedIn profile is not going to get you your next job. All it's going to do is it's going to get you a phone call. How well you practice your interviewing skills is what's going to determine if you land that next great job. So if you'd like to have more information on the PIT crew, the practice interview team, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll get that information to you. Well, when we started LinkedIn almost 2 years, it's hard to believe it's almost been 2 years. I need to go back and see the exact date we started doing this. We've got 4 outstanding speakers who talk about LinkedIn. They rotate through on a monthly basis. This week, our speaker is Ruth Lipsky. She's a career coach. She works at Lee Heck Harrison, coaching candidates all the time. And she's going to talk about LinkedIn search engine optimization. So Ruth, thank you for being with us, and it's all yours.
Okay, can you make me a co-host so I can share?
Sorry about that. Beginning of the week, first Zoom call for the day. So of course I forget to do certain things. Here we go. All right, you should be good to go.
All right. We're going to be talking about the search engine optimization features that LinkedIn has. Having your resume on LinkedIn is an important part of your job search, being able to find what you're going to be looking for by presenting as much information as possible on LinkedIn. But there's some tips and tricks on how to ensure that recruiters are able to find you. So we're going to be talking about LinkedIn goals, what the recruiter search looks like, how to maximize your titles and your skills, other sections of LinkedIn that you may want to add, and how to network more effectively on LinkedIn. So why are we concerned about LinkedIn? Because companies more and more are utilizing LinkedIn instead of the job boards when they're trying to find talent. As you can see, most of the jobs are still coming from the company website, and this is where somebody is applying for a job on the career page of a company website. It'll go through the applicant tracking system. It'll get into the hands of a recruiter if it is scored high enough, and they'll start the process of interviewing and selecting the people to move on. Referrals and recruiters are still important, but not as much as LinkedIn. LinkedIn is being used more and more when a recruiter needs somebody quickly or has a strong feeling for the type of skills that are needed, and they'll go directly to LinkedIn, type in a job title, a couple of skills, and they come up with thousands of people who are options for them, and they can start the process immediately to vet people and to be able to move them into the interview process immediately. So the LinkedIn goals, you have 2 of them. One of them you're probably very comfortable with. Let's make sure that you can have a resume, a LinkedIn profile that has information that a recruiter is going to need, that it's readable, that it's got some welcoming features to it. But your second goal is to optimize your profile so that the LinkedIn search engine is able to find you amongst the hundreds and thousands of other people who may be similar to you. Now, these two goals can be the same, but there are times when they are different. So in this first goal, you don't need to be an all-star in order for the recruiter to find you and look for more information. But you do need to be an all-star if you want to optimize for a search engine. And that's because LinkedIn is going to give preference to people who utilize as many of the features as they feel is necessary and provide a recruiter with as much information as possible to make a decision. So you may find people who, looking only at goal number one, if a recruiter has your resume in hand and wants to see more information about you, are they going to care if you're an all-star? No, absolutely not. But if you want recruiters to find you, you do need to have that all-star feature. So let's talk about in general what features are necessary for LinkedIn recruiters to find. And to do that, we'll take a look at the software that is being used. But first, you need to realize that LinkedIn calculates a score for your profile every day. And it's based on the amount of content that you have. We know that in the About section, you need to have information there, but LinkedIn doesn't give you full credit for an About section unless you have a minimum of 40 words. Same thing on the home page. If you're replying to a post, they will give you credit for replying to a post as being a good activity, but unless you have a minimum of 8 words in your reply, you don't get full value for that post. So it's going to be taking a look at what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how much information you put in. There's no way to see the score that LinkedIn is giving you, but we do know that it goes up with activity. And if you are not active on LinkedIn, it starts going down because LinkedIn feels you're disengaged. Maybe you found a job and you no longer are using LinkedIn in order to support your job search. But every week you need to do something on LinkedIn so you get that date stamp and you don't lose points. Twice a week is better than once a week, but make sure that you do have some activity continuously throughout your job search. Now, LinkedIn is a very secretive company. It is not going to tell you what your score is for your profile, nor will it tell you what the point value is for any of the features that you're using or what the activity is. So best bet, do as much as possible. So here's a recruiter view on LinkedIn. And in this case, the recruiter is looking for a project manager in the greater Chicago area with skills in business strategy and analytics. There are 42,798 candidates who meet this profile. So now the recruiter is going to be using the spotlight features across here to narrow it down a little bit more. And in this case, the recruiter is looking for people who are open to new opportunities. That's that feature up at the top part of your profile page that allows you to put in the types of jobs you're looking for and a little bit of information about what type of role you're really looking for. But it's really signaling to the recruiter, I'm open for a discussion about a new job. This recruiter is also looking for people who have a company connection. Do you have somebody in my company and are you connected to them as a first-degree connection on LinkedIn? This assumes that you know a little bit about the culture and the things that are going on in the company. And the recruiter in this case is also looking for people who are engaged in the talent brand for the company. That means that they are following the company on LinkedIn. That'll appear on the interest page, but that's a great indication that the person is indicating interest in the products, all parts of the company, and be willing to consider an interview with that. So now it's down to these people that are coming up at the top. And remember that LinkedIn never does anything randomly. There's a reason why this person is the #1 person out of a start of nearly 43,000 people. It's because certainly project manager is part of the title. They probably have these skills, but there's very little information that the recruiter is able to use in order to sort out which people they want to look at more closely. They'll generally accept LinkedIn's recommendation that these are the people best suited for you, and they might go down as far as 100 people in order to find the right ones for them. But being able to look for skills and things that are in writing is positive, but they're also looking for behaviors that they're seeing in the spotlight area. The other spotlights that can be used, and here we're looking at somebody who is looking for accountants. All they're looking for. Got over 4 million of them. But this recruiter is now saying they want to look for people who are more likely to respond. They also want to know that they're open to new opportunities and that they have company connections. But this more likely to respond is one of those features that LinkedIn calculates on your profile, but you cannot see. And it indicates whether you respond to recruiters when they message you with opportunities. So if you're on your LinkedIn profile and you're on the message tab and a recruiter is saying, looks like we've got a job that fits your skills, here's more information about it, can we set up some time to talk? If you ignore that, then you're likely to respond, number goes down. And if you respond in any way, shape, or form, you're likely to respond goes up. Even if it's saying, no, this isn't really the type of role I'm looking for something more in this line, that's fine. At least the recruiter got a response from you. So being active on LinkedIn, connecting to people in the company, following the company on your interest page, and being able to respond and being open to new opportunities is going to get you to the top of most lists. But really, the problem that recruiters have is the title area and the small amount of information that is given to them is a barrier to their ability to find the right people. This is why LinkedIn has recently changed the headline from 110 characters to 220 characters. They want more information so that when a recruiter is taking a look at 100 different accountants and senior accountants and accounting managers, they're going to want to see more skills in this area, more value propositions. So we'll talk about that in just a sec. But what LinkedIn tells us is important in their search is that the number one item they are looking for is not the title and not the skills that you've got. It's, are you interested in my company? And the way that they're going to be looking for that is that likely to respond rate that comes off of your message board. Are you connected to employees that are in our company? Are you following our company on LinkedIn? Are you open to work? And have you ever applied for a job in our company before? That indicates a strong interest, and recruiters will build off of that. Now, secondarily, LinkedIn is interested in the title, the key skills, and the skill quiz, if there are appropriate quizzes associated with that. But it's more important to say that you're connected and networking with that company. Now, the candidate's activity on LinkedIn and the recruiter's past preferences, those are all important too, but certainly these first two are of most interest to us because we can deal with these actions. So if we want to give the recruiter a better title so that they see more information in the searches, there are a couple of things that we're going to want to do. Use the standardized title. Sometimes a company gets very creative about what the title is going to be. And if you are a chief disruption officer, then it's probably not going to mean much to people outside of the company. And you may want to change that to senior project manager. So translating your title is going to be an important part of being found because it's still an important part to have an exact match on titles. So if you look at the open to work section, you'll be able to see as you type in a job title, what the titles are that have been accepted by LinkedIn. You can add multiple titles to the headline and to the open to work area. The headline, because the headline is your future, it does not indicate what you've done in the past. What you've done in the past is all in your experience section. Your headline deals with what you want to do next. And in your experience section, if you think that your job title did not necessarily indicate what role you were in that company, you can add additional titles to that so that you can translate your title into something that is more of an industry standard or one that a recruiter is going to understand a little bit better. So here's some examples of headlines. It used to be that we just wanted to have titles. So we would say, yeah, put accountant, put senior accountant. Now we're saying put in a value statement, increasing productivity in highly regulated industries. That gives you a lot of different opportunities, and a recruiter is going to be more interested in somebody who has shown what they can do for their company. Same thing here, creating value for business through effective marketing strategies, specializing in international business expansion and telecom, or helping the world become more customer-centric. There's probably something you think is your greatest selling point, and being able to put that into the headline area is going to help recruiters define who you are and if you can help them as a company. So expand that area out. And here's a way to determine how you want to write out your headline. You can start out with an adjective, particularly if you are in sales and you're award-winning, or if you are licensed or certified, but you can put in other things too that are a wow kind of statement, either organized or engaging or experienced, something that could give a little bit more of a pop to the titles that you're going to be using. Titles, 2 to 3 are generally the ones that you want to put out there. Don't put too many because they generally overlap, and you don't need that because LinkedIn is doing a search by title, but it'll also look for the title family. Then talk about what value you bring. If you're a developer and you've got 4 different languages that you are good at, you can put those languages one after another in your headline. That's going to differentiate you from other people who are developers who are just saying on their headline that they're a developer. Now you're the headline that has these specific skills, and it'll prevent recruiters from talking to you that you don't care for that type of role, but it's going to emphasize to the recruiters who are looking for exactly that you can provide that to them. If after 6 to 8 weeks, you have not seen that there is any activity from recruiters contacting you after you change your title here, your headline area, then you need to change the headline area to something different. And you also need to change the first paragraph of your about section. Those 2 areas are the ones that are most important to the recruiter. One, to just give them a taste of who you are. But once they get on your LinkedIn profile, they're going to start reading your about section. If the about section doesn't interest them in the first paragraph, they may move on to someone else. So every 6 to 8 weeks, take a look at the activity that has been generated on your account, change it to something different if you're not seeing much out there. So skills are also an area that we need to be able to maximize. The top 5 skills that recruiters were looking for are creativity, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. Those should be in your profile. They can either be in the skills section, or you can put them in the about section as skills that you have. Or if you use them and you want to use them as part of your experience, there's some of the bullet points there, do that too. If you're working from home, recruiters are looking for these 4 skills. active learning, resilience, stress tolerance, and self-motivation, because these are the skills that generally indicate that you'll be successful at home. So in general, the skills and endorsements section has been changed so it's simply skills. Endorsements are no longer a big part of LinkedIn, so don't spend time on that. But LinkedIn still does offer you 50 slots for your skills. Go ahead and fill them up, between 45 and 50 of them. Make sure that some of them are technical and some of them are your soft skills. You want to be able to have communication. You may need to have documentation. You may need to have building relationships. So you need to have things other than simply technical skills here. And the higher level you are in an organization, the more those soft skills are needed. So having skills like strategy and goal setting are going to be important as you get into the higher levels. LinkedIn still allows you to have 3 skills that are on the base page before you have to enter up and see all skills. Make sure that those are the ones that you think are your strongest skills for the job that you're looking for. And if you are in a managerial position, at least one of those 3 skills needs to be something associated with management. Adding an unusual skill is a nice way to differentiate you from anyone else who might be having the same general skills and experiences that you've got. So putting in a hobby, whether it be quilting or scrapbooking or golfing or mountain climbing, is going to be enough of a difference that the recruiter is going to be able to mark your profile as being somebody who's a little bit more interesting. Now, LinkedIn does categorize the skills. They don't do a perfect job. They do a pretty good job, though. You can't move your skills across the categories, so don't try. But if you do have a lot of skills in an area, you may want to alphabetize them so that you're able to make it easier to read. And if a recruiter is looking for a particular skill, it's easier for them to find it if they're alphabetized. Now, we said that endorsements weren't needed as much with LinkedIn. And for years, LinkedIn was pushing endorsements on us. Every time you got onto a LinkedIn page, it was asking you to endorse someone. What they found out is that people with a lot of endorsements quite often did not have the technical knowledge or the base knowledge that was needed, but they did have a good social network where people would go onto their profile and endorse them. So instead, LinkedIn is talking about the skills assessment test. And underneath the skills area, you should be able to see to take a skill quiz. It's going to be only for those types of skills that you can test for. They're either going to be the technical skills like C++ or Python. It could be business skills. All of the Microsoft suite would be in here, or it could be part of a design. Early results from LinkedIn are telling us that if you've passed a skill assessment, you are 30% more likely to be hired if the job requires that type of skill. So take the test. It's a 15 to 20 multiple choice test. It is a time test. You have to do it in one session. You need a 70% or better in order to pass the test. If you do not pass the test, nobody sees that. If you do not pass the test, you can take it one more time, but you have to wait 3 months before you retake the test. And even after you accept and pass the test, it's only valid for 12 months under the assumption that there will be new features coming out on all of these, and you need to retake it in order to continue to show proficiency. So new sections, we want to be able to go beyond simply my resume has been moved out onto LinkedIn in the proper categories. And a lot of people write their resumes and then copy and paste the resume information into LinkedIn. Well, there's some other sections out there that we're going to be taking a look at because it's important to watch that there are more things to do on LinkedIn than just the basics of putting your resume out there. So first, let's make sure that we've got that headline that has information on here that is going to influence the recruiter as they're using the LinkedIn recruiter software. Use your open to work. If you are looking for a job, then you probably are going to be interested in making sure that your profile has the hashtag open to work frame around your picture. Although a recruiter using the LinkedIn recruiter software will know, because you have checked that you want that to be visible to recruiters using LinkedIn recruiter software, recruiters who are looking for people on LinkedIn not using the LinkedIn recruiter software will not be able to tell if I'm open to a new job or not. And about half of the recruiters on LinkedIn are not using that software. So if you don't have the hashtag open to work, then you're probably going to get passed by a lot of different recruiters. So use that. Make sure that your background is something that is branded if you're in a job search. And branded means that you've got a picture there that evokes the type of skills and industry that you're interested in. There are going to be some features through here where they have some analytics, and this is the only way you can tell the success of your profile. You can take a look at how many people have viewed your profile and how many search appearances you've been part of. Once you make changes on your LinkedIn profile where you think you are showcasing your talents better and that you are showing that you have more skills, then you should see these numbers come up. If they're not, go back and change this part of your headline and change the first paragraph of your about section. Okay on that? We're going to be taking a look at this more feature. LinkedIn has if you have a strong LinkedIn profile and you want to create a resume out of that, LinkedIn allows you to build a resume off of the material that you have in your LinkedIn profile. And you can use that to apply for jobs if LinkedIn does not have an easy apply feature for that particular company. Try that one out. But then go to the add a profile section because there's more information out there that LinkedIn would love to have you fill out. So it'll give you the ability to say what your education is, what your positions are and experience and your skills. That's the core business for LinkedIn. But they also want to recommend that you add additional things like your licenses and certifications. If you have a license for something and you've got that in your about section or in your experience section, you should also add it here. LinkedIn rewards you for repeating information. Courses is another good one to add because if you're adding a course, it means that you have taken the time to learn something new. And most people these days are trying to tell companies that they can learn new things, that they are a quick learner, that they are adaptable, that they can quickly adapt to a new culture and learn new things. Well, the best way to show that is to say, on my own time, I've taken advantage of company courses. So being able to put information in here is a good way of telling the recruiter and proving to the recruiter that you are a continual learner and that you've added new skills. You should also add in the classes that you took on a yearly basis, probably came out of the compliance team or the legal team, but those are going to be the classes that you were required to take in order to maintain your job. And it could be anti-money laundering, it could be phishing, it could be IT security, but put all of those in because those were important to the company and it's probably important to the type of job that you're looking for next. So add those courses in too. In this additional section down here, you can add some information that goes really above and beyond what you've done in your experience. Recruiters are more and more interested in folks who have volunteer experience in their background. They recognize that their company has a social impact in their community and in their selling area. And if you have volunteer experience, it's nice because they want to take advantage of that, and they want to be able to pull people in who are going to be able to represent the company in their charitable events. If you have any publications, any patents, add those into these sections. Projects is a good one too. In your resume and probably in the experience section of your LinkedIn profile, you've got some things that you've accomplished in your role that you want to talk about. And normally that bullet point is going to be 1 sentence long, maybe 2 sentences long. If it's something that's really important and you want a new company to know about, check this area. When you add a project, you can put a name down on it. You'll talk about when you did it. If you were associated with a company and the name. Project URL, you probably don't need unless it's something that was a public activity. But this description area is the second largest on LinkedIn. It is 2,000 characters long. Only the About section of LinkedIn, which is 2,600 characters, is bigger than this. This gives you plenty of space to put in the star format. Here's what the situation is. Here are the tasks. Here are the activities. Here are the obstacles. Here's the results. So being able to put in a detailed set of information, all of this is scannable. All of this adds to the key features and the key skills that you're showing in your LinkedIn profile. So if you have anything that you think should come up in an interview where you want to talk more about what you did and what a great accomplishment it was and how hard it was to do, use this project area. Other things to add in, LinkedIn has recently added causes. And this tells a new company or a recruiter a little bit more about yourself and the things that you might be doing in your time away from the company. So being able to click on these will be added into the lower part of your LinkedIn profile. It is not scannable. The recruiters can't look for people who have causes at this time. That may come in a future release of LinkedIn Recruiter, but at least being able to put one of these out there to showcase who you are and what types of things are of interest to you gives the recruiter a better feel of who you are. So how does that look through here? Let's talk a little bit more about titles. My title is career consultant, but in the industry, I'm also known as career coach. So I put both of those titles down and separated them with a pipe. That way, if a search is done for either one of these, I'll come up high on the list. So being able to translate your title into other titles that are used in the industry is a good way of increasing your visibility. Now, in this case, I had a title, but it didn't really say what I was doing. Most of my time was spent in converting the business into instructional design and e-learning types of activities. So I put down my title, but in parentheses, I put the focus of work and an indication that if you're looking for someone with these titles, I've got enough experience and skills to be able to accept the role of that title. And you wouldn't have known that if I had just put down what my official title was for the company. This is a good thing to do if you've got one of those broad titles like program manager or project manager. That could mean an awful lot of different things, and recruiters often get confused as to what you were doing. So putting in parentheses the type of titles or the type of activities that you did are going to be able to explain much more clearly to a recruiter what capabilities you have that could roll into their new job. And remember that on the LinkedIn recruiter screen, the headline title and your two most recent titles and experience are going to show up. So the more information you put into your headline and in your first two titles here, the more information you have for the recruiter to be able to make a decision on you. Now, did you notice that on the skills area, they took out skills and endorsements? They will still allow you to endorse people, but it's no longer necessarily a key component of what LinkedIn is looking for. Instead, it's looking for people to take the skill quiz. And the skill quiz is going to give them the information that they need to know if you're really an expert at it. This is so important right now that some recruiters are contacting people and saying, it looks like you've got the right set of skills and experiences. Here's the job that we have. Are you interested in us setting up an interview with you? And if the person says, yes, sounds good, they'll say, okay, go out onto LinkedIn, take the skills quiz for these two different features. Get back with me when you pass, if you pass, when you pass. So recruiters are using this as a way of sorting out people who truly do have the skills and didn't just put it in here because they think it was a good thing to put in, because that's what's coming up in the job postings. Taking the skill quiz is something that can now be used as a sort on LinkedIn Recruiter. So on the screen where they were putting in, here's the title, here are the skills. If they put in a skill like Excel, something pops up in the LinkedIn Recruiter that says, do you only want to look at people who have passed the test? And the recruiter can say, yep, put those people at the top of those 4,200 that came up on the list. So skill quiz, probably an undervalued piece of real estate on LinkedIn, but take the skill quiz if you feel that you've got the capability for it. When you've got the area that we just talked about for courses, being able to put in the titles of the courses, if you don't remember them exactly, you probably know what the content was. You can either make up the titles by yourself because it's probably close enough, but it'll be worthwhile to do. Project area also has its separate area. You can open it up and you can see more of the information that comes in. All of this is searchable so that you have a way of talking more and more about what value you brought into that company. In your interest area, this is where you're going to put in all of the companies that you're following. What is it that you're interested in? Not necessarily just as your next type of job, but is it something that you think is of interest to you and you want to know more about it? Anything in the interest area is going to end up on your homepage. So this gives these companies the okay to give you posts that talk about new products, new features, activities within the company. And this is where recruiters are going to be looking for their company. They don't care if you've got every single competitor of their company out there either. You're doing a job search. Of course, you're looking at everyone. So let's take a look and make sure we know how we're going to find the companies. On the chat feature, if somebody could type in a company that they're interested in. Or you can shout it out, unmute yourself.
Tell us a company that you're interested in so we can look it up. You can unmute your mic or just.
Bank of America.
Bank of America.
Okay. Bank of America, you can see that there's plenty of stuff that comes in, but the one that you want is probably the one that has the company and the industry associated with it. You can follow it from this page, but let's go on and view the LinkedIn page for Bank of America because there's more information here that you probably want to know. You are going to want to follow it, but across here, you've got some other tabs that are useful to you. On the Jobs tab, you can create a job alert for the company. You can put in a title, you can put in the location. Remotes does not work here yet. I understand that they are considering that, but you are going to have to put in at least a metropolitan area. But when you create a job alert, that means that anytime Bank of America posts a job on LinkedIn that matches your profile, the recruiter is going to be notified of that. So here the recruiter puts a job out there on LinkedIn. LinkedIn immediately pushes back and says, here are 12 people who are interested in your company and who fit the profile of what you're looking for in this job you just posted. Well, it's probably going to be the first place that the recruiters are going to go, because that's going to be the easiest way to find the people who might be interested in joining the company quickly. So you can have up to 8 job alerts per company, but remember you also have job alerts in the jobs section, and you can only have 20 total job alerts on LinkedIn. So use them wisely. Now, this people tab is also good because when you click on people, it will tell you that they have 289,630 employees who are employed at the company and who have a LinkedIn profile. So if you want to start networking with the people, who said Bank of America? What city are you interested in?
I know several people there.
Okay, let's start with the DFW area then. So here we're taking a look at the 15,109 employees who work at Bank of America and who reside in the Dallas-Fort Worth area or are associated with that office. If you click on the next, it brings you 2 new columns, what they do and what they studied. What they do is going to be useful because this is the department they work in. And if you decide that you really want to be in the project management team, you can click on here. And that's going to narrow it down to, now you've got 610 employees. Let's click on it again. Do you have any first degree connections within that? Yes, I do. I also have second degrees. Everybody else is just out there. But if I want to know who in that department I know, here they are. So this gives me an opportunity to find people in a company that I may have lost track of, didn't know they had moved into Bank of America, but now I'll be able to message them and say, looking for jobs at Bank of America, how do you like it there? Do you know who the hiring manager is? Do you know who the recruiter is? If you're far enough along in the process, you can say, do you have any tips on how to interview? How to go for you? So finding people that you know is going to be a big part. But the other thing that you're going to be looking at is maybe the second degrees. If you don't have anybody, but you do have second degree connections, 51 of them is a lot. You probably want to sort it down a little bit further here, but at least you'd be able to connect with these people and say, I'm interested in a role in such and such. Let's connect. Never use the white connect button because that sends the automatic, I'd like to be part of your network, and that doesn't do you any good. You really want to be able to click on their name or their picture, take a look at their LinkedIn profile, and use the blue connect button. The blue connect button will always allow you to send a personalized message, which is what you want to do. And if you wanted to send a personalized message to Marcus, it's probably because he's in cybersecurity and you're in cybersecurity. So sending the connect to them, I am a manager of cybersecurity, interested in a career change into Bank of America. I see you're also in that area. Let's connect. Once you're connected, then you can have more conversations with the people so that you're able to say, do you know of any job openings? Do you know who the hiring manager is? And get more information from there. Now, if you don't want to go to the depths of a department or how you're connected with people, and you just want to say, Dallas-Fort Worth area, who are the recruiters? So typing in recruiter, LinkedIn is going to translate this to talent acquisition, so you don't need to do two separate searches there. But if you're taking a look for recruiters, there are 122 people in the Dallas-Fort Worth office that either have been a recruiter in the past or who are currently recruiters now. So the 122, you kind of have to look through. This person is not somebody you want to connect with as a recruiter, but a senior technical recruiter, if your background is in IT, might be somebody that you want to connect to. Once again, not on the white one, but go into the person's profile. And the message to a recruiter is going to be more information about why that recruiter should be interested to you. And being able to say something along the lines of, I am a blank with experience in blank, interested in, and then put a job title there that they have posted. Would love the opportunity to discuss and send that off. You only have 300 characters. It's not a heck of a lot of room to talk, but being able to intrigue a recruiter who is already in the process of looking for people, this is a shortcut for the recruiters. Being able to find somebody quickly who is interested in their company, interested in that particular job, and who has the qualifications for it, it's a bonanza. So connecting with recruiters, especially if you've got a job that you are looking at applying for, and if you have already applied for it, is going to be a plus for you. You can also take a look for, let's get rid of recruiter. You can also look for people who could be the hiring manager. And they might not look quite as much for, they might not be active on LinkedIn as much, but if you think that you're going to be if the IT director is going to be somebody that you could possibly be interviewed by or could be in the group of people who are going to make that decision. 73 is probably more than I would have thought, but you might be able to sort it down through here in order to find the people who you would want to connect with that would be capable of giving you more information about this role. Now, your best bet when you are looking for people is if they don't have a picture and they don't have a background, they're probably not active on LinkedIn, and they're probably not going to be as likely to respond to you. But if it's somebody who has a headshot and a background, it might be worthwhile taking a look at this person in more detail and being able to say, I'm a PMP interested in this particular role. I see you have a similar position. Let's connect. Would love to hear more about the company. So pick and choose the people based on if you think that they're going to be active in LinkedIn. Okay, and that type of sort. All right.
Thank you, Ruth.
All right. The next way you're going to network is you're going to network through a school or a college that you've attended. And somebody throw out there a school that they went to.
Miami University, Ohio.
Go Redhawks.
Did I get that wrong? Miami University?
Miami, well, no, that's the one in Florida, Miami University of Ohio.
Well, this is one in Florida,
It's, yeah, that first one.
Oxford,
yeah,
Ohio.
Oxford, okay.
Okay. Take a look at this page. You probably are already seeing this in your interest area because you went to this school, and anything you've got in your education area, LinkedIn will automatically put into your interest area. This is an underutilized area also. If your kids go to a university, if your spouse, if your parents, if anybody in your family went to a school that you think you're interested in, or if you like them simply because they're in the Big Ten and you like their football team, go ahead and add those into LinkedIn. The more information you've got on LinkedIn, the better it is for LinkedIn's score of your profile. Now, in this case, Miami University, you're not interested in jobs, so we're going to skip that, but they keep track of alumni. And in this case, they are saying that there are 162,297 people who attended this school in the last 122 years and who have a LinkedIn profile. Where they live is still going to be the first column, but where they work is going to be the one that you're going to be looking for. So if you're interested in Bank of America, did anybody who attended my school work at Bank of America? Yep, definitely did. So 160 of them are still there. All of these other people were at Bank of America at one time, but it's no longer where they're working today. So we're going to take a look at these 160, and we're going to use the next button, and we're going to say, I only want to talk with the people who are in the IT field. Now you've got it narrowed down, and you can connect with these people by saying, I see you also attended the University of Miami. What was their logo? What was their?
I think he said, I think they were Red Hawks.
Go Red Hawks? Okay. I'm interested in Bank of America as a possible career change. How do you like working there? Let's connect. Whenever you've got a reason to connect or a way that you're connected with somebody already, they're going to be more likely to respond to you in a positive way. And if you went to the same school they graduated from, then you're probably a pretty good person. So they're going to be more likely to connect with you and be able to provide you with a little bit more guidance. First step is definitely connect with them. After that, you can start saying, I see that there's a job at Bank of America in this department or in this role. Can you find out any more about it? I really appreciate it. And see if you can use them internally to narrow down what it is they're looking for, who it is that's going to be making those decisions, and maybe get some tips on how to interview if they're already in that type of role. Okay with those? Okay. Let's switch on over to the home, because this is where you can get a lot of points for your profile. Certainly anything you do on your profile page is going to be an important part of your score with LinkedIn, but LinkedIn wants you to be engaged. It wants you to be talking to other people. So everything through here, LinkedIn feels is important for you, either because you have said, I want to follow this company, or it's because you are connected to somebody and now they're posting something out here. But anytime that you've got the possibility of responding, you should be able to put in, and by the way, this like feature, don't use that. That is so much like Facebook, and LinkedIn is sorry they ever put that in here. But it was a way of trying to get you to start engaging. Always start off in the comment area, and 8 words is what you want to put in. It's not just thanks, it's thanks, I'll look into this in more detail. Or thanks, I appreciate you sharing with me, I've seen this too. Or put in a whole paragraph, I disagree with you because this, and this. So you can put in whatever you want in here. There is a limit to how much you can put in. You can even add pictures to it if you wanted to get fancy in your comments. But if you could go out and 2 or 3 times a week, find something that you wanted to comment on, it'll add to your profile score faster than just about anything. You also get a great deal of points if you start your own post. So putting something out there that is all about you, and when you start a post, you generally want to send it to everybody. It's of not much use if you try and bring it back to a smaller subgroup. But you're going to put in information. So you're going to have some information that you can put in. And now notice that LinkedIn added some hashtags to add to it. If you don't have a hashtag, the only people who get your post are going to be the people who are in your network. And it's really going to be a subset of the people in your network because not everybody is active on the homepage and LinkedIn doesn't bother pushing them much information. But if you add in a hashtag, that will go to everybody who is in these sessions and will be able to give you a broader voice. So let's take a look at this hashtag job search. And you're going to use this top section here. Hashtag job search has 1 million people. So when you put a hashtag into your comment or your post on the home page, you've got the possibility of reaching nearly 2 million people. And that greatly expands the amount of information that you have available to you and the number of people who would be able to help you. If you want to follow, then you just click follow and it'll add to the groups that you have here. And it'll provide more information about job search on your homepage. So looking for the hashtags that are appropriate for you, about the hashtag leadership. This is 3 million people. If you follow that, then you're going to get more information associated with leadership tips, changes in leadership, studies about leadership, how leadership is being developed in companies. These are all topics. It's not a group, so it's not a type of job or a title, but it is a concept and it's an area of interest for you.
Ruth, Jeff asked, is it better to comment on a post or to repost it? Now, it's by reposting, he's saying share it.
Right. It's better to comment because a comment means that you're putting more of yourself into this activity. If you repost it, or if you get an article from another site and post it onto LinkedIn, that does give you a fair amount of points under your profile, but nothing gives you more points than an original post. You may want to start out by making comments on other people's posts so that you get comfortable with what types of things are out there. But being active on this page is going to help you out, and having your own posts are going to be even better for your scores.
All right, Dana asked, is there a master list of hashtags?
The best you can do is to Google top hashtags. So there are a gazillion of them. But being able to take a look at the ones that have the most followers, hashtag India has the biggest one by far, but it's not necessarily one that you want. But innovation, 39 million people, if you put hashtag innovation into a post that you got, you're going to be able to reach a lot more people than if you don't have a hashtag at all. But no, there is not a full list, probably because it's still growing. LinkedIn does not create these hashtags. These are hashtags that people have created and posted through other ways of handling this. So some of them are going to be very small and some of them should be small. If you're in a niche market that you're looking for, then you're probably going to be most comfortable finding oil and gas or hashtag your industry. So finding things that are going to be interesting to you, because now they're going to appear on your homepage more often, but are also going to expand your voice, is going to be important. Okay, questions?
I think we've been answering them as we go here, so I think we've got them. I know we're just a minute or two after 2 o'clock, so thank you for those who have hung out with us. Anybody have any questions before we wrap up?
Thank you, Ruth, for all the good tips. Learn some new things.
My pleasure. Glad you learned something new.
It's
All
tough to
right.
kind of keep up with because they keep adding and changing things.
That they
Like they
do.
did,
Yeah, LinkedIn is always changing and updating things. That's why it's really hard to try to show any screen shares or screenshots, because what you did today could be different tomorrow. So that's why you pretty much have to do it live. So, Ruth, thanks for sharing everything today. If you'd like to connect with Ruth, you can reach out to her on her LinkedIn profile. This may not be the most current picture she has because she changes her picture all the time. So she may have tulips up this month. I don't know. But if you'd like to reach out to her, please do. But please send her a personal note. Let her know where you saw her at if you want to try to connect with her. So Ruth, thank you very much for your time today. Next week, our speaker will be Terry Sullivan. He's going to talk about how to tell your key contacts and prospects who you are, what you do, and how you can help. Terry does not allow his session to be recorded. So if you want to watch it, you do need to watch it live. So it'll be on Facebook and it'll be on Zoom, but we'll be deleting it off of Facebook right after the event, and it will not go up to the Career USA YouTube channel. All right, I need everybody to please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jeff Morris, promise to always send a personal note whenever I send a LinkedIn request to connect with anyone. This includes when I use my cell phone or my computer. You just want to remember, as Ruth said, never click on the white connect button. Always look for that blue connect button, because when you see a blue connect button, you can always send that personal note. Career DFW and Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. Please join us. Tomorrow, interviewing Wednesday, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, watch an actual practice interview with the practice interview team. It'll only be on Zoom, will not be on Facebook. So if you want to watch it, you do need to watch us on Zoom tomorrow only. Thursday, being the second Thursday of the month, we'll be talking about networking, power networking, how to create a network in 5 days. Our speaker is Jack Bick. And then this Friday at the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group meeting, why your emotional intelligence matters in today's new world. So if you'd like to join us this Friday at 9:30. You're also welcome to join the Career DFW and Career USA LinkedIn groups. 2 ways to expand your connections. We have over 13,500 members in the Career DFW group. We may even hit 13.6 this week, because I know we're really close to the next 100 mark. You do not need to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to join the Career DFW group. It's just the group I started first when we started the website. This session has been recorded. It is going to be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channel for you to go back and watch. Please follow us on Facebook. If you do, every time we go live, you get a little buzz on your phone. Subscribe to our Career USA YouTube channel. By doing that, every time we post a new video, you'll find out all about it. This is what the YouTube channel looks like. I always recommend click on playlist when you go to it, and then pick whatever subject you want. And so where you see the red arrow, it says LinkedIn. Don't click on the video, but click down below where it says view full playlist, and up will come a list of all the different dates and topics and speakers. And that way you can find the most current events that are out there, and you can watch any of the ones you want at your leisure. If you're not receiving emails about our workshops and you'd like to join the Career USA mailing list, please do so. Please send an email to Career USA, the + subscribe at groups.io. Please note, you'll never be spammed because I control the list. The only thing that will happen is you will get the topic of the day, the title of the day, and most importantly, the Zoom link of the day. That way you can join us on Zoom by just opening up the email. So please remember, Career DFW, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We have no full or part-time employees. Ruth is a volunteer. All of our LinkedIn presenters are volunteers. I'm a volunteer. Everything I've done over the last 13 years has just been to help you land your next great opportunity. Please consider making a donation when you get your next job. So thank you for joining us today, everybody. Have a great afternoon, and hopefully we'll see you later in the week.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.